Hey everyone, Wanderbot here, and welcome to Her Name Was Fire. It's a bullet heaven that I played the demo of a little while ago and rather liked, and so now it's coming out on Steam. I don't actually know if it's coming out in early access or if this is going to be one of those full releases. No, it looks like it might actually be a full release thing. So this might be a little bit of a more focused bullet heaven than anything else, though it does look like there's reasons to replay. And neat part is it does actually seem to remember some of my, well, kept my resources at the very least. So sorcery damage or cast speed. I love cast speed. Crit chance is interesting, but I'm gonna go cast speed. I see, so we only get one. So fire orb, throw scorching fireball, no time limit, 2 surface per stage, or eclipse, timed 15 minutes. Interesting. Cast a charge and swing a jolting blade. Small fireballs are rapidly shot during cast. Fire rate increases the longer you cast. Interesting. I want to try the thunder blade. Let's see how that goes. Denial. So we can dash and we can cast. Oh, that could be more of an issue. I mean, the damage is good. I see. I forgot this game has kind of like a casting system. You manually attack. Okay, we'll figure it out. Dashing has a chance to generate a spark towards your aim direction. Thunderblade can deflect enemy bullets, or yeah, let's go for Quetzal. It's gonna be kind of hard to time that, is the one issue. We'll probably want to increase my cast speed if we get the chance. Let's see, size increased, but cast speed reduced. Base pickup area or orbiting planet that deals damage. Let's do this. It gives us some extra damage. Actually, that should be pretty solid. So I guess we're on the infinite mode, which I'm curious to see how that's going to go. Let's see, max HP. Sorcery has a chance of invoking a sunburst on every hit, or metabolism for some cast speed. Let's go for that. I want to attack faster. So movement speed would actually come in handy, but still. Now, can I dash while I'm still casting? Yes, I can. Okay, and some, yeah. Pickup radius at some point wouldn't be bad either. Chance for enemies to explode. Specialization damage increased by 50%. Sorcery damage, redraw. Temporary penalization. Sure, why not? We could also skip. Movement speed, second planet to my orbit. Oh, cannot dash for 20 seconds. Movement speed or sorcery damage reduced. Let's go for this. Can't dash. I don't think I'm gonna need it. I like the injury thing. It's also interesting that the planets are actually on different orbits. I was expecting that they'd just rotate around me simultaneously. Kind of at the same distance, but I was wrong, and I'm glad I was, because I think that's an interesting system. Okay, no more penalty, so we can get around. Okay, new surfer has appeared, so what do we have? Deploying knives, which multiply damage on every hit, grants invincibility while active, berserker, breathing fire, or... I'm gonna go for the knives. Oh, that's even cooler. Okay, did I actually take damage there? I might have. Okay, wave of bullets after 5 casts. Hammer. Or burn. 3 hammers in direction after last cast. Okay. Oh, this is a bad time to have, like, a weirdly itchy thigh. Oh, I see, so I have to let it go. That's interesting. There's not really a whole lot of reason not to just kind of let loose. We lose a little bit of our cast, but that's fine. Claymore. Honestly, I'm gonna grab Claymore. Unfortunately, I don't think it increases the damage at all. But the bigger sweep radius is actually going to be pretty helpful. Okay, packs. Fusion vaults. Let's go for the vault. I know some of these have, like, really interesting effects later on, I believe. Okay, we should probably go grab a server. It's about time that I actually focus on objectives. I just like stacking as much EXP as I can. Even though there's kind of a everything's gonna keep scaling up. So yeah, let's get out of here. And I had taken some damage. Okay, server's up here. There it is. I think we get a benefit for these? I forget. Oh. Okay, there we go. Luckily, the server is a dang chump. No, actually nothing. Well, chance... Let's see. Let's go Berserker. I don't know. I think upgrading Claymore... I think Claymore in general is actually a mistake. I just like the idea of that range. But on the flip side, the slower I attack, the worse this is going to be for me overall. It looks like the hammers come out anyway, so... It's not like I have to release the cast button after all. Okay, snag some of this. Be interesting to go for more of like a dash build too, but I don't know where I'm at on this. I'm just kind of rolling. It's interesting that they decided to go for a full release as opposed to kind of early access. I think this is actually the first and only Blazing Feathers to the damage enemies after casting. Let's go for the Echo Hammer for the time being. First and only bullet heaven I know of that is actually launched straight to 1.0. There's probably some other ones that I don't know about, but it's really weird actually. Like, despite the fact that I'm probably one of the most active creators to cover this genre, I keep finding out about ones that like came out 2 months ago, and it's like, you know, where was this game? But, I mean, the answer is there's no category for them, and many of them have, like, almost no buyers. Because they do, like, no marketing, they just kind of pump it out. Which, like, I don't know necessarily if that's the worst. Oh, thank you, cast speed. Let's see. Because, I mean, these games are so cheap, you don't really need to market them too much as long as a couple people find them. Maybe. Maybe not. I don't know. Oh, good. Spacebar. Also works for a dash. There we go. Luckily, I can just absolutely demolish these. Got the health. Oh, interesting. That actually picks things up for me. Cool. Do I feel like I can do an allegory chamber? No. Yes and no. I think the main thing I will say is I very much would like to grab some movement speed before we do. I can reflect projectiles. Oh. I don't have a choice. Looks like the moment the allegory chamber shows up, it's boss time. Well, it's fine. Time to fight the devil. I got ranged hits. And if he shoots at me, he's gonna regret it. Boy, that messed him up. Okay, so what do we have? Dashing has a chance of causing fire that does damage. That or movement speed. I like the Berserker, but the movement speed is good. What is this? Oh. 3 sorcery spells instead of 1. Speed burst after casting, or... Each skipped level increases your sorcery damage by 15%. The fasting applies retroactively. I'm gonna go for the devil, though. I don't know why it was blue, but 3/ sounds kind of fun. And we haven't skipped any levels yet. I'm not really sure if I want to. Okay, yeah, that's pretty cool. Especially if we can level that up a bunch. Okay, so to some degree what we want to do is focus on clearing as many servers and bosses as we can. Because some of these perks are incredibly good. Why do I need to sneeze? It sucks. Well, I know why I need to sneeze. It's allergy season for me. Freaking half of the year is allergy season for me in the northeast. I guess spent I spent the entire year, or 3 years in Portland and 3 years in Kansas, barely any allergies. Moved back to Boston and all of a sudden I'm a sneeze machine. It's bad. It's been like wrecking my ability to do commentary. I can record a bunch, but I do need to, I need to take like long breaks in between. Which is inconvenient, to say the least, compared to what I'm used to. I do appreciate the ability to, reflect shots back at enemies. Oh, it's gonna make this sword so much better. Okay, Crawler. Movement speed while casting is pretty good. Dashing has a chance, or... let's go Crawler. So this way I'm a little faster while I'm attacking. Means I don't have to worry about too much. Because yeah, these guys aren't that fast. I don't know if they get any faster. I think they get tougher? Okay, I'm super glad that servers, I believe give me a magnetism. So let's head for it. Because otherwise I'd kind of be forever stuck trying to go back and grab, going back to grab things. And that just seems like it would blow. Okay, there it is. Okay. Thank you, hammers. And yeah, it does look like we have some enemies coming after me. Oh, it didn't actually pull them all in. Dang. Unless getting the last server does the trick. That might actually be it. Let's see, what was I going to say? I think this is actually one of the other bullet heavens, the only other bullet heavens that actually has, okay. Quetzal, ooh, deflected enemy bullets deal more damage and travel faster. Sure, why not? Oh, we actually took some damage from that. That's fine. Ooh, that's a new buddy. I haven't seen that before. But yeah, most bullet heavens don't have an infinite mode. Frankly, I find the endless mode on these games tends to be kind of not an attractive prospect, as far as I'm concerned. Maybe it's one of those that is actually way better than I think it is. But generally the idea of an endless mode for these is kind of ouch. My dash wasn't off cooldown. There we go. Like, I don't know. I think bullet heavens very much are meant to be short. And if you add an endless mode, it kind of runs counter to that. But then again, most bullet heavens don't have upgrade systems that actually work particularly well for long-term play. That might not ring true for this one. Who knows? Okay, do we just head for the server? I mean, we might as well run endless and things just keep getting harder. Oh, those are also new. There it is. Okay. A little bit more movement speed would go a very long distance. Unfortunately, we haven't really seen a whole lot of the movement speed increase upgrades go by. Just a couple. Allegory chamber. Okay, it does have some health. Claymore or hair? I think Crawler's better. But hair might have... both are good. Okay. So it was the devil, now it's death. Okay. He's got lasers. Oh. I can even knock the skulls back at them. Well, that wrecked them. And we didn't take any damage for it. Okay. So what do we get? Devil again. 50% chance to fire 3 instead of 1. Shoot and recall skull projectiles after a cast, or... I like death, but I think I want to go for the devil. Getting that to be really consistent would be good. That might be a mistake. We'll see. Yeah, I think the real trick is just as soon as a server pops up, head for it, because that's how you become OP. Those specific perks are real good. Oh boy, there's a bunch of these suckers. Okay. I'll have to try the Gatling gun weapon at some point. I could see that being really solid. And the fireballs and some other stuff. I'm digging this sword mostly for the projectile reflection. Let's see, drifts. Berserker or static? Get Berserker again. Not that I'm actually using the knives particularly well, or like at all, but there's a very real possibility that if I play my cards correctly, I might actually be able to just somewhat perpetually stay in knife mode. It at least gives me a decent amount of leeway so I don't get hit too much. Yeah, we've got a whole bunch of these suckers coming after me. They're a little faster, but luckily I've invested at least a smidge in speed. Okay, can I get a server? Thank you. Oh boy, this would be untenable if it wasn't for my speed bonuses, and also Berserker. Oh my gosh. I think I might have to zigzag a bit. Nope. Oh, I've missed it. Damn. There it is. If I can get to it. Holy smokes. It's got hairier in the worst kind of way. Well, it's fine. All of these enemy projectiles are honestly good for me. Keep it coming, please. Bury me in attacks. Snag that, and then back to fighting. Okay, increase attack speed. Yeah. I don't think I'm gonna go for the next level of Claymore unless we get some, like, really stinky, attack speed bonuses. Just because, while that extra range would be nice, it would also kind of invalidate, much of my orbitals. I don't really necessarily mind being up close. No, I don't think I'm gonna roll Claymore anyway. I just don't think it's worth it. Wow. This is pretty solid. I should probably mention, by the way, if you're confused about me calling this a bullet heaven, it's the genre name until somebody comes up with a better one. And I sincerely doubt that's going to happen. I actually did a whole video essay on it over on Wanderbot Prime. If anybody hasn't seen that yet, which actually, I'm more than willing to bet like a decent number of you guys haven't. Not that there's like any guilt or shame that's being thrown your way. No. Sorry. I'm very proud of it. I put it out earlier this morning, as of this video, so it's just kind of like, I don't know. I don't want to say I can't stop thinking about it. I've spent my entire YouTube career mostly just recording a game, chatting over it, and then putting it out, and that's it. And I don't want to say that, like, I haven't been proud of my products, but a lot of it is very heavily dependent on somebody else's thing. Even my video essays, I guess this remains true. That, you know, to some degree, I am still making a derivative product, even for, like, a review or an essay or anything of that general vein, because, yeah, I wouldn't be doing a video essay on, like, what bullet heavens are if people hadn't been making bullet heavens, but at the same time, like, a decent chunk of that product very much is kind of my hard work, you know, writing the script and all the other bits. Third planet or hair? I'm gonna go hair. We want movement speed as much as I'd like a third orbital. Being able to move fast is going to be really helpful. Oh, that's interesting. Oh, I can mess him up. Bad. He was not expecting this, getting demolished there. Okay, even more movement speed. Blaze. And I'm just gonna grab the Magician. I was hoping to get another level of the Devil, but... oh well. Depression. Oh, I know about that. Hello, old friend. Yeah, sword's gonna be good. Ooh. That's proccing way more than I thought it was going to. And yeah, that extra level of the hair is working wonders for me. Anyway, so, I guess it was... what was this? Back in 2019 even? Have I been doing Wanderbot Prime for that long? I don't know, my sense of time is scuffed. Not that I had actually put out a whole lot on that channel to begin with. But for the longest time, I've always wanted to do a little bit more higher effort content. And I think that applies to this channel too. That I'd love to actually mess around with like more edited playthroughs and stuff. I just don't have time to play through games, period. At least at the moment. I think soon I'll have a little bit more. Ooh. There's the fasting, but no. Metabolism is like the best. Because the faster I attack, the more of these procs we can pull off. And the more of these casts we can pull off, the more hammers we throw, the more swords we shoot, the more triple shots we hit, and the more often the daggers proc to give me invincibility. Anyway, what was I gonna say? But so, video essays were kind of my... video essays and eventually reviews were kind of my solution to wanting to do a little bit more, like, higher quality content that might last a little longer, if that makes sense. Because most Let's Plays are kind of dead within a couple of days. Some manage to last longer because of search results, but most of the time a Let's Play's lifespan is effectively the week it comes out. Unless you find the old playlist, and honestly, the more YouTubers there are, the less likely that's ever going to remain true. And so it's kind of one of those where it's like, I don't want to necessarily say that, like, my Let's Plays are extremely, replaceable. They kind of are, you know, anybody else can do them. But my written word and, like, my own thoughts and stuff, maybe not so much so. And so, like, obviously, the content of my Let's Plays isn't as reproducible, and, I mean, my own soporific voice has a power in and of itself. Good night to anybody listening to this video trying to sleep. Don't worry, I don't shout. Sometimes I will react to stuff, but it's rare, and it's usually going to be... you're probably going to see it coming. Definitely not this game. But, so yeah, wanted to get into reviews and essays, and I think I'm slowly getting to the point where I'm going to be more and more comfortable with them and faster at them. Because, I don't know, I'd love to be able to put out something every couple of weeks, every month or so. I think that would also, I don't want to say free me up to actually work on some more weird stuff. But like, actually playing through games again, but not straining my voice further. Because like, ooh, I'm going to be slightly paying for my hubris over the next couple of days. But then I go away for question mark days. And so that gives me plenty of time to just kind of chill. There we go. Yeah, still don't have a server, but we're getting to the point where we're just shredding these guys. I do appreciate that they don't seem to have that much extra HP, which is nice. Like 20 minutes till dawn gives you just like, or gives enemies just like huge HP bonuses, and this one seems to just be like, hey, but what if there was like a gazillion enemies coming at you? And I feel like that's so much better. Wow, we just ruined that. Okay, nothing else. Yeah, being able to reflect bullets is pretty handy. So who are we fighting today? The Hierophant. Are you a projectile-based sucker? Or are you something that I'm gonna have to worry about? Oh, he's a tentacle-based sucker. There's the projectiles. Here's the thing, though. Yeah, if I can just stand right on him, hit him with the whole might of my attack, that destroys him. Really effectively, actually. Alright, let's take a look. Chance of invoking ink puddles that slow down and damage enemies. Chance of shooting swords, or 70% chance for triple shot. Absolutely. If I can get triple sword to be pretty much consistent, I think that's going to be banger good. As I gonna say. I don't know. I should probably do like a retrospective or something on some of my video essays, because this one took like way too long to make. I think I'd started it back in June, July. Like, it's something I've been planning on doing for ages, but hadn't gotten around to like actually fully writing the script and getting it edited and all sorts of things. It wouldn't be terrible. I don't like momentum. Let's go with blazing feathers that damage enemies. No, let's go for Sunburst. I think Sunburst is going to be more of an AoE to feathers. Ah, that's what that does. Oh, and it's after every hit. Not every cast. That's way better than I thought it was going to be. I like all the proc effects on this. It feels good. It doesn't necessarily inspire a whole lot of, like, desire for multiple playthroughs, just because I'm a little worried that I'm just going to see everything. It looks like the enemies just get a lot faster. Maybe? It feels like they're a lot faster, but it might just be kind of the way that they speed on screen, and they slow down once they've reached me. That might actually be it. No, doesn't really matter. But like, boy, it is rough being in the ugly stage of any product. If you've ever done artwork, you know what I'm talking about. Artwork are most like creative endeavors where, like, you get kind of to a certain point where you're like more than halfway done with it, and you know that if you put in like a couple more days, you'd actually be like near done. But it's so ugly, you don't want to look at it, think about it, or anything, because it's just like, it's wrong, it doesn't feel good, and you kind of hate it. I've been stuck in the ugly stage for this essay for far too long, and so it's kind of one of those where it's just like, you know, how do you cope with that as a creative, especially when your products take, you know, a tremendous amount of time to finish. You know, I know a couple of artists. I mean, Shell was one of those artists, honestly, where her paintings were gorgeous, but they took like 10 to 15 plus hours sometimes to finish. And it was kind of one of those where they'd hit the ugly stage, and it's just like, you get stuck there, and it's brutal. Wave of bullets, 3 bullets after every cast, or set things on fire. Let's set things on fire. Not that it really matters too much, but it'll help finish off a couple of the guys that I can't kill. There we go. But yeah, so the essay was stuck in the ugly stage, and like part of the reason why I haven't been able to work on stuff as much as I like is I keep traveling. You know, anywhere from a business trip to Texas, a vacation to Pittsburgh to also see if, like, it's a city that I'd like to live in, maybe. You know, my grandmother's 100th birthday party. Like, stuff that you can't really ignore. And I feel like I've kind of been banking a lot of these trips over the last couple of years, and so now that I'm finally doing it, I kind of feel like I'm paying for it a little bit, because it's just like, well, it's not like I was banking any of these. It's not like my grandmother's birthday, 100th birthday was like a while ago, and I've just been waiting to play the, like, yeah, I'll show up to your 100th birthday card. It's not like an RPG where you can just kind of disregard time and just do whatever the heck you want. In the meantime, boy, I kind of wish life was like that, but I also realized that that would be like a weirdly deadening experience in a lot of ways. That dagger cast was like the most fortuitous event ever. Oh, we already have an allegory chamber. Hell yeah. Let's see. Oh. Reflected shots can now pierce through enemies. That just sounds really good. And who are we fighting today? The sun. Oh. This seems dangerous. Oh. Good dagger cast. Okay. Try and mess him up. Oh, nope. He's doing this again. Well, you know what? Ain't complaining. I think the dagger cast would protect me against a bunch of this, but... oh well. Doesn't really matter. Die. I wonder if we can actually hide the tutorial in the corner. Oh. I lived. That's it. Wait, really? Huh. 25 minutes. Wait. I thought that was an endless mode. No time limit, servers per stage. Interesting. So there's a shorter one and then a more free one. That's interesting. Okay. Dashing deals damage, 20% movement speed. Redrawing has a 50-50 chance of offering perks instead of penalizations. Or penalizations that last twice as long. Interesting. Redraw without penalization. Death grants you another chance. Experience gain is doubled. Oh boy, but that's also really expensive. So let's try the Gatling Twig for a little while. Actually, whatever, screw it. Oh. That's fun. We gotta get our hands on Sunburst. And maybe some other things. We'll see how it goes. I was hoping that was actually gonna be a longer, or like an endless mode, just because it felt like I was finally coming into my own by the end of it. I guess what I could have done was just waited, but whatever. Decrease cast speed by 20%. Let's grab this slow cooker. Oh, I see. So the slower it is, the faster we get to ramp up. That's an interesting take. Because yeah, it resets my attack speed. Ah, weird. I almost feel like what it should do is actually just make the bar longer. We might as well grab the Spaghettina, because now my damage is higher and my fire rate is higher. I do appreciate that there are unique upgrades for each of these weapons. I don't think I do the devil this time around. Maybe? I have no idea how the devil even works. Vault, orbit. Let's grab static. Not that I really care too much for the dash damage, but those... oh, you know what? I should have either done a skip or a redraw. That's what I should have done. Or not. Maybe that's okay. I think it'd be interesting to go for a dash build. I just don't know if there's enough upgrades. Anyway, we want the hair. Crawler might have actually been the better option. Okay. Well, I should head for the server. Problem is I don't feel quite strong enough to fight a boss yet. Is the one issue. I feel like I need the sunburst. Boy, if I could have the sunburst, I'd be really spooky. Because we want anything that lets me proc on hits. Because I feel like that would work intensely well. Or sunburst on hit, not spark on hit. Is that what it said? I have no idea, man. My brain is cooked. It's late and I'm having a good time, but I'm a little focused on what I'm doing. Let's do the volley of arrows. Unfortunately, I don't know if that's going to work. Yeah, volley of arrows is definitely a little bit better than the fire breath for what I'm doing. I gotta grab that. The bullet burst would have actually been really solid. A couple of these would be. But I think my big issue is that a number of these, like, after cast ones don't really work the way I want them to. Because effectively, there's an anti-synergy here. Not necessarily that big of a deal, and the arrows were 100% worth grabbing. Let's see. Let's do that. We need some AoEs here. Making enemies into bombs seems like it's kind of the way. I still want the sunburst though, because that is going to make me into a monster. Because it's on hit, not on cast. Which means we're going to be triggering it often. Damaging an enemy repeatedly has a 20% chance of doing burning fire. Ooh, that's interesting. Let's redraw. Grab that. What's our penalty? Can't dash for a while. Movement speed or... Okay. Yeah, we just can't dash for 20 seconds. Should be fine. And if I take a little bit of damage, we have some health right there. So I think we'll be okay. I guess I was talking about reviews and video essays and stuff. And then like my mind wanders while my mouth is doing things. I don't know if you guys ever have this happen where you're talking, but your mind is like left the building. Got a million miles away. It's kind of a skill, I don't want to say that I feel like I've kind of picked up over the years. But it's one of those that, yeah, it's effective. I think part of the problem is I'm infusing a bunch of enemies back behind. Ooh, severe burn? Yes. Still not quite as good as it could have been, though, admittedly. Jeez, I don't know, what was I going to say? Mile a minute. Brain going a mile a minute and elsewhere. But yeah, I was just thinking about like all the game reviews that I'd actually really like to do at some point. Just because, I don't know, it's kind of one of those where it's like, I love doing LPs, they're fun. But there's kind of a feeling of, once again, that like transience of it. The commentary is not particularly timeless. Whereas like, I feel like a good game review could last forever. Kind of. In a way that no Let's Play ever could. Where you could specifically just kind of go, well, I don't know. And maybe it's also kind of, it's like this weird mixed thing, whereas Let's Plays, like, you're always kind of encouraged to be, let's see, momentum. Fire that does area damage. Let's go for the hunter. Might as well have it be consistent. I don't think I'm going to do any more of that cauldron jazz, because I don't think it's worth it. Grab the crawler, though. I gotta go fast. Hi. Who are you? The devil again. I'm a fast boy. Oh, it shoots a pentagram. That's cute. Whoops. Whoops. Oh, we must have gotten really lucky with iframes on that one. Okay, damage would be good, at the very least. And I'll come back for that one. Hair, devil. Fine. I don't actually care to go for it, but the hair... As much as I like the hair... Oh, so that's how it works. Actually, that might not be half bad. We'll see how it goes. But so, like, I'm specifically, I guess, very hyper-focused on games that I think are fantastic that people might not care about nowadays. In the same way, like, might not be interested in watching a Let's Play. So, beginning of the year, I started playing Dark Cloud 1. I really want to go back to that. I don't think it'll be as a series, or if I do it as a series, it'll be like, I don't know, YouTube streams or something. I'll have to see if people even want those. Because I feel like that's the easiest way I could do long-form content, but last time I tried that with Pokemon, people did not show up for the second session, and it kind of sucked, because it was just like, well, do I keep doing this? Yeah, do I want the fasting? Nah. Nah, I like my upgrades. Flat damage is boring. It can be okay, but, like, I do fine damage. I just want cool effects rather than just raw oomph. Oh boy, getting that double EXP though. Boy, that's something I want. Anyway, so what was I going to say? Things and words and reviews and whatnot. But so, like, one of my problems with Dark Cloud was that, like, people liked the first episode to kind of affirm that, like, I liked the game or something to that extent. But there was the issue of, like, no one stuck around for any subsequent episodes. And because it's such an old game, no one is really looking for it. I think the first episode is probably going to just accrue views anyway. As, like, you know, people are just curious about, like, yeah, what was Dark Cloud 1 like? But that's kind of the upper limit of what a lot of Let's Plays amount to, is just kind of this, like, novelty checker of, like, is this game worth it? I feel like a review kind of gets that as well, but with a little bit more weight behind it, in a way that I think I'd rather do that. Like, it's odd. Let's see, static or blaze? Nah, static's not my jazz. I might as well set things on fire. I'm not convinced that setting things on fire is particularly good either. Some games it's like super rad, and this one, eh. If my bullets had piercing, then oh boy, setting things on fire would be like the most busted thing in the universe. Maybe the arrows actually do trigger that. I'm not sure. Let's see. But yeah, I'm at a weird intersection between kind of entertainment, a service, and marketing. I don't know how to really describe it apart from that, because, like, on one hand, I'm effectively some of the better marketing for any indie game could ever get. Not that I'm like that good, but like, we had done a video on Hellcard, and the developers had been like, wow, you know, I was wondering where all these new people in our Discord came from, and it's because you guys did a video on it. And I was like, yeah. And it's not uncommon for that kind of thing to happen, especially for, like, really good games. Let's see. And so, you know, fundamentally, like, I really help out developers, and obviously the developers help me out by sending me games and stuff. And occasionally sponsoring videos and whatnot. Okay. Let's just scoot. Oh, we didn't actually piss it off. There we go. Can't hit the server if I haven't actually aggroed it yet. Nope. Okay, we didn't actually take damage from that. Thank iframes. Also, thank those arrows. I think I would be having a much harder time if it wasn't for them. I like the idea of the Gatling gun, but it does not have the oomph behind it that I'm quite looking for in certain cases. But, eh, fine. Okay, so who are we fighting today? Oh, you're new, the tower. I'm curious how many different tarot-themed bosses there are. Presumably quite a number. I mean, what are there normally? 24 tarot cards? Something to that extent? Birds. Birds. Anger birds. Well, it's okay. I'm curious what the tower has for a unique power-up, then. Orbit, slow cooker, movement speed. Chance of invoking a group of birds that fly away when approached. Flying birds deal damage to enemies. Go for the tower. I'm assuming it's a chance on cast as opposed to on hit, but boy. Yeah, it's on cast. Look at how the arrows sound like chickens. There we go. I think my other thing is just, birds? Okay, so I'll have to read the description of what that does again. I mean, the birds are cute. Oh, is it when I dash? Or is it when I walk into them? I have no idea, man. Yeah, I think it's when I walk into them, otherwise they just kind of sit there. Interesting. And maybe not as practical as I was hoping it would be, but kind of amusing all the same. Yeah, not really digging the birds. I think I might just kind of ignore them and have them be cute mascots more than anything else. I was really hoping I could get that sunburst power up. But at this rate, we might get we might not get it until the very end of the run. Because holy shit, we just be sun lasering everything. Let's see, the blaze. Do infusion. Okay, we've got a server up here. The one thing that I heard recently, it was kind of an interesting counterpoint to my whole, like, Let's Plays thing, is, I got a comment from a couple of people saying that they, like, actually use me as sleep aid, and I felt kind of bad. Because I realized, like, if I completely give up on the idea of Let's Plays in general, like, that kind of goes away. I almost wonder if there's, like, an easier way to do it. I mean, I straight up could just, learn how to do books on tape and just just do that on the side every once in a while. It'd certainly be interesting, but I feel like that's a service that's already kind of filled by, a lot of people. It was interesting. The other day we were on a long walk. The other day, I think it was yesterday, and we were just walking through the woods, and there was this 8-year-old lady who more or less turned around and said, like, you know, are you a tenor? Do you sing? Apparently, she was a singer and liked to do, I guess, group choir or something, and then tried to recruit us to do some level of, like, group singing, which is very flattering. Oddly enough, when I sing, I don't actually sing tenor. I actually, like, raise my voice, mainly because I don't know how to freaking sing. It's a someday thing. Shell would very much love that. The Pact Crawler. Ooh. The Friction. Or do we want to do the Crawler? I'm gonna do the Crawler. The movement speed is just super handy. Because now I am fast. I like the idea of stuff like Friction. But it's still gonna be tough. I very much want to get the, get that final upgrade meta progression where you just level up twice as fast. It would be like the most busted thing ever, but it would probably, make subsequent runs of this game real memey in a really satisfying way. But, it's one of those that, growing up, when I was in, like, 6th and 7th grade, I got made fun of for being a squeaker. My voice cracked all the time, and it was really high-pitched. And so, the most flattering thing you can ever say about me, it's too... I mean, like, I guess I just don't get a whole lot of compliments to begin with, apart from, like, a couple of things, and so, like, I'm very susceptible to being complimented, just because. And maybe this is true of everybody, but, like, I really don't get compliments much at all. Especially in person. It's a little bit different when it's on the internet, but even then it can still be just as flattering. I think it's just, I guess I'm slightly used to really facetious compliments from the internet, whereas like a random stranger being like, man, you have a really nice voice. I'm like, holy shit, thank you. Or, I don't know, like physical appearance stuff too gets me a little bit, just because, I don't know, I never really thought about my own physical appearance much. It never was not that important. I mean, obviously I want to stay relatively fit and not look like a complete goon. It's the sun again. Sun, sun, Mr. Golden Sun, please die for me. I bet I could learn how to do, like, I mean, acapella would be interesting. But no, what is it? Like, sea shanties and, like, oh shoot. Like, work, labor music. Whatever that's called. Let's see, chance of spawning a little sun that deals area damage after casting. I mean, I might as well snag it. We might as well Bob snag it. Let's go down. I still want my starbursts, but alas. Okay, so the starbursts are the suns are just the random explosions? Or maybe we haven't triggered it yet. Oh, or maybe it was the invisible birds? No. Oh, that's it. There's the sun. Actually, that's sick. I would like more of those, please, maybe. Okay, what else was I going to say? I don't know. Just, I was a squeaker and probably not the most, handsome kid growing up. And so, now that I'm a little older, and I've kind of gotten a little bit more surety of, like, my own, I mean, especially my voice. Gosh. Just brutalizing my vocal cords by recording for, oh, you know, 5 to 10 hours a day. That really does an absolute wonder if you want to sound like you're, well, sound deeper. I don't necessarily know if it makes a voice better, but kinda does, at least for me. I know there are some, guys that really, really do have lovely high-pitched voices. But like on my end, I don't know, I like being deep. But so, you know, the idea of somebody being sad... Ooh, I actually took damage on that. The idea of somebody... Or not being sad, but people using me as sleep aid is, like, actually a super big compliment, if a little weird. But then also realizing that, like, yeah, if I totally stop doing Let's Plays, it's like, oh yeah. I just, people lose access to that kind of thing. I don't know, I'll figure that out at some point. What I really want to do is write books, like my own books, that I then, either I or Shell, read aloud. I think that would be really cool. And like I do illustrations and a bunch of other stuff. And the problem with being a very creative person is that I want to do everything. And I realize after a certain point in life, I'm not going to be able to. But there's a lot of stuff that I think I could do and be fine with. Part of it is, let's see, Scavenger and Fusion. Casting no longer affects movement speed. Or no, let's get time to go fast, suckers. There we go. As I going to say, I was gonna say words and things, and now I'm distracted by speed. One of the things that I think I've come to, I don't know, recognize in life is that I think I feel better about myself as a person if I'm working on something that's, if I'm working on something that actually interests me, if that makes sense. And that, like, watching television is really weird and awkward, and maybe part of this is just because I've never been able to sit still. Like, my mother comments on this every once in a while, where she's like, yeah, even as a child, you know, when we were at restaurants, you wouldn't be able to sit still. I'm like, I am maybe have ADHD or something to that extent, I don't know. Never got diagnosed for it, and I don't want to fully be like, yeah, that's me. Let's see, server's up here. There we go. I appreciate that as the server spawns, it locks all the enemies in place so I get to shoot them a little bit more. But so, like, I've always had a little bit of trouble sitting still for television shows. There's a couple that I will. I think it's just because, I think it's the kind of recognition that most television shows are bad. And, like, they might be kind of funny, but most of them just, like, aren't worth the time that people put into them. And I think I do miss out on some stuff, like I've never seen The Community. I've never sat through more than an episode of Parks and Rec. I watched an amount of, I watched an amount of The Office one year when I was feeling kind of low. But, I've never actually sat through the rest of The Office, so I don't entirely know how that show goes. Let's just go for death. I'd like to try the specialization one, but I think that works best with the fireball. Or if I had the lasers. Okay. But, what was I going to say? Ooh. What recalls those skulls? I guess it's every 5 casts. Creates them, and then recalls them. And they actually do damage to enemies that pass through them, which is kind of sick. But I also don't feel like they're, like, run carrying by the same measure. I was really hoping we could be able to get those sunbursts, man. We'd be in a really good spot if we had those. What was I gonna say? I'm like, there's a couple of television shows I really would like to actually put some time into. Like, I'd like to go back and finish Farscape and, like, The Next Generation. Even if the first season on The Next Generation, and Deep Space Nine, are both kind of trash. I know, like, Next Generation gets a lot better once Wesley Crusher goes away, for the most part, and, oh, what's his name? The dude that steps over chairs weird. Yep, nope, absolutely blanking on it. The moment he grows his beard, everything gets better too, oddly enough. Like, there's a couple of signs that you're on the good half of, The Next Generation. Or at least, you know, you've gotten past the bits. I'm sure there's still kind of iffy episodes, but still. I think that's actually equally true of Cisco, now that I'm thinking about it, because I don't think he had facial hair in the first season. And I think once he becomes a little bit more, like, facial hairy, I don't want to say, like, manly. Because I think facial hair should not be necessarily a mark of manliness, just because I feel like that enforces iffy standardization that not every man is going to be able to match. I know some people that have, like, really patchy facial hair that just will never be able to have good facial hair, and it's kind of rough to have the expectation of, like, you need to have a beard to look manly, because then just, like, feels rough, man. Kind of like, I mean, honestly, hair at the top of your head. Ironically enough, being bald means I think you have more testosterone, and other factors. I mean, a lot of it is just genetic. But that, to some degree, there's this, like, weird stigma against balding that I think is kind of unfair. I think has been phased out over the years. At least somewhat. But it's kind of one of those where it's like, I don't know. I feel kind of like it should be acceptable to just have that happen to you and be fine with it. There was Twitter discourse about baldness earlier today, and it's just kind of like, I usually stay very far away from Twitter, but I've been paying attention to this whole Lenovo Intel Gladiator Pit fiasco. Just like a smidge. Because, I don't know, I think it's kind of interesting watching somebody step in it so badly. And also kind of horrifying that, you know, it had such, I'm not gonna say, like, heavy consequences, but, like, boy. For those of you that don't know, at TwitchCon they had a foam pit that you're gonna do, or people did like gladiator fights with foam poles above. Except for it wasn't a foam pit, it was just a concrete floor with foam blocks. That they just slapped over it, which is not safe. And so a streamer actually broke her back in 2 different places as a result of this absolutely horrendous attempt at making a cool thing. And it kind of sucks because, like, I love the idea of doing one of those, and, you know, I can understand it being a little dangerous, but at the same time, if somebody's like, yeah, here, feel free to jump into my pool, and they painted it in such a way that it was shallow, even if they made me sign a waiver for it, I think I'd still be well within my right to be extraordinarily pissed off, and everybody else would be within their right to be like, wow, that was stupid. So I've been following that, but there was a thing about baldness that caught my eye the whole time, and I was just like, I am easily distractible. Anyway, yeah, the thing about baldness that it caught my eye. Oh, we actually get to see what the max level is. Wait, casting increases your movement speed by 10%. I didn't know it went up that high. Fireballs go through enemies, dealing less damage. Or they just never do. This one's terrifying. Main ability always applies burn. Burn damage is increased. Feathers. Fireball does less damage, causes an explosion of 6 piercing feathers on final hit. Interesting. Only triggers after a full cast. That's actually really good. Then 50%. Ooh, I might have to try a fasting run at some point. I could see that being real good. But this is the one I wanted. Sorcerer has a 35% chance of bursting on every hit. Like, holy shit, that on the machine gun would be the most obscene bit ever. Oh. Well, this would have been nice. I don't think I ever saw that one go by. Yeah, I didn't really care too much for the static. I think if there was more dash, I'd be fine with it. Or more dash upgrades, but I think there's only like 2, maybe 3. Okay. Oh. Oh, we actually have to... wait, what? Locked cards do not appear when leveling up. That's why I wasn't finding some of these. You only get them from the bosses. Interesting. I mean, the devil is probably the primo one. I don't really like the tower. I thought that was kind of bad. The sun was actually pretty good. But I think the devil's the only one I actually want to buy. Because triple shot is obscenely good. Let's see. And then specialization. It feels like there needs to be more for this game. There needs to be more specializations than this. And definitely some more bosses. I mean, if we look at this now, going back to this, we've actually seen every boss in the game. I'm kind of fine with that, but it's definitely one of those where it feels like getting the whole tarot deck in here would be good, at the very least. I'm hoping the Steam page is just a lie and the game is actually in early access. And they plan on having more updates later on. And, oh, it does actually look like there is an endless mode. What? Interesting. Yeah, so there definitely is stuff missing, because on their main page, they actually have an endless survive thing in the bottom left corner and a character at level 33, which I think I got close to, but yeah, it definitely feels like there's more to be had as far as this game is concerned, and we just have to wait, maybe? I'm hoping. Unfortunately, I do not know what the price tag for this game is, and I'm kind of hoping they keep the demo around just so people can try it, but I'm going to assume, like most other Bullet Heavens, this is going to be relatively cheap, $3 to $5, and honestly, it still ranks as one of my favorites just because it's trying to do something a little bit different, and it has a very nice, clean aesthetic. It can be a little murky at times, but it's really fun just weaving around enemies and then just ruining them. Oh wait, hold up. If I go back to the Steam page, there's a boss I haven't seen. What was it? Yeah. Here. I'm gonna just drag you guys along. Whatever this is. Oh, that's just the magician. Oh, so we have seen that. Never mind. Dang. I just saw all of the bunny rabbits, and I guess that's an attack I haven't seen. Whatever. Is what it is. So, with all of that said, I think this is a great stopping point. My voice is going, and I am tired. So, if you guys like this video in any way, shape, or form, leave me a like, helps more than you know. And if you want to see more rad new indie games every single day, then hit subscribe because I've got tons to check out. Well, for now, thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.